on Tuesday, from Mr. Duncan from the head of the epoch, I've been struggling from Tuesday evening, and some things that I heard Mr. Keith Duncan been saying, I have to be struggling to wonder if it's Jamaica I'm talking about. Because the reason why, Mr. Shield, we have a surplus now of over $50 billion. We go back to over 56 years. Jamaica have never done this. What have happened to Jamaica? That we are exporting more than importing into our country. These things are history for me. And it is troubling me because I can remember in the 90s. And it is struggling me to see what is happening to my country today. The development, the expansion of my country, the NRR is good. We spend $100 billion in a Jamaica, uplift and pay people. That's more money being circulated into our country now. And it is showing that things is picking up into our country. And me not hear comrade come with that good news. And me not hear John come with those good news.
You've come.
Me have to come.
Yes. And bear in mind too, I agree with you on all of those. But bear in mind that even the Prime Minister.
No, hold on, you know. I don't know where you hear or where you get from the clip I played. But I'm going to tell you what I get and I'm going to play it again so you hear it. The man said for the first time Jamaica is exporting more than we are importing. Then the host said she agree with all of what him say. So if you never hear it, now touch it again.
Yeah, Mr. Shields, we'll go back a little now to the economy of Jamaica.
Yeah.
Because on Tuesday, from Mr. Duncan from the head of the epoch, I've been struggling from Tuesday evening, and some things that I heard Mr. Keith Duncan been saying, I have to be struggling to wonder if it's Jamaica I'm talking about. Because the reason why, Mr. Shields, we have a surplus now of over $50 billion. We go back to over 56 years. Jamaica have never done this. What have happened to Jamaica? That we are exporting more than importing into our country. These things are history for me. And it is troubling me because I can remember in the 90s. And it is struggling me to see what is happening to my country today. The development, the expansion of my country, the NRR is good. We spend $100 billion in a Jamaica, uplift and pay people. That's more money being circulated into our country now. And it is showing that things is picking up into our country. And me not hear comrade come with that good news. And me not hear John come with those good news.
You've come.
Me have to come.
Yes. And bear in mind too, I agree with you on all of those. But bear in mind that even the Prime Minister, in most
Yes, sir, morning. Yeah, man, good. All good.
Yeah, we are here listening some of the things. I don't know if you heard any of that a while ago. It was a
Yeah,
caller.
man.
It was a caller who called in to one of the station of your company, RGR, and we played a clip from RGR. And the man said to Mrs. Shields that he has never seen this in Jamaica, where our surplus is $50 billion, and we are exporting more than we are importing.
That's absolute rubbish.
No. The caller saying that never bother me too tough. But when the O says I agree with all of those, I got very concerned, Ralston. Very concerned. And he's trying to quote Keith Duncan. So I invite you on this morning because I really want to know what is happening. Keith Duncan said we are lending money to the international market. What is happening? Talk to us.
Yeah, well, I mean, talking about numbers like 50 billion and all them things, that's just total rubbish. Yeah. So, all right. Back to the whole thing now with Mr. Duncan. All right. So, what I'm saying is that we have a current account surplus. We had one, 362.4 billion during the fiscal year 22-23, right?
Okay.
Now, the current account surplus measures the extent to which we are supplying the world or depending on the world to supply our current needs.
Okay.
Yeah? So that covers our fiscal year. Now, to say that we are a net exporter and that we're lending money to the world is a total misinterpretation of the balance of payments equation. Because in the balance of payments, you have what we call the trade balance, then you have the services, then you have capital flows and all of those things. So what happened is that we were still exporting less goods and services than we were importing. So it's not a massive trade deficit. So what we did was to include the flows from remittances as part of the equation. Now, internationally, that is a no-no. That is technically and definitionally incorrect because remittances are not earnings. Remittances are what we call transfers, in that the people who are sending you remittances, it's not that you did anything for them or it's not that you traded anything for them. It's because they are sorry for you or they love you. You follow me? So that cannot be included as part of our earnings. So that was the misinterpretation. So we totally disagree with that. And as a fundamental member of the OPEC, I disassociate myself from that because that is technically and definitionally incorrect. If we stripped out the remittances, then we'd be running a current account deficit of 3.23 billion or 18% of GDP, which is where we were in 2012.
So we were at this place, you're saying, in 2012.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
Is this a good place to be?
No, that's the point I'm making here because, as I said before, internationally, the remittances, they are not recognized as earnings, so you can't include them as part of your exports of goods and services because remittances is based upon generosity. The people send it because they're sorry for you, because you're poor, or because they love you. Mm-hmm. So the IMF and the international agencies, they do not recognize remittances as part of your export earnings. They are recorded as transfers. What Mr. Duncan did was to include them as part of our earnings and then tell the country that we are lending money to the rest of the world and that we are a net exporter of goods and services. Nothing could be further from the truth. So for the first 7 months of this year, we were running a trade deficit of $3.21 billion because we imported $4.439 billion and only exported $1.227 billion. Last year, the trade deficit was $5.83 billion because we imported $7.73 billion and exported only $1.901 billion.
So we should be looking for a correction or an apology from Mr. Duncan based on those statements?
Well, he should. He should if he wants to maintain his credibility and the credibility of the Economic Program Oversight Committee.
I was just about to say he's the head of EPOC.
Yeah, man.
So when you come and make them talk, but why nobody's calling him to books, Ralston? I hear Simon challenging you to interview him.
Yeah, but it's not going to come. So I am, as a foundation member of the EPOC, I've been telling the country that, I mean, this is a gross misinterpretation of the balance of payments equation. Either he doesn't understand or he's making a deliberate attempt to mislead the country.
But isn't that dangerous?
Yeah, man, it's very dangerous because what he's doing is lulling the country in a sense of complacency by misrepresenting the numbers. We need to export a lot more and we need to reduce our imports. And if we want to continue on the current trajectory of what we are importing, we need to be exporting more goods and more services, particularly services from the creative industries, because the amount that there is $4 of imports for every $1 of exports.
So there's a $3 deficit then?
Yeah, man.
So tell me something.
Without the, as I said before, without the remittances, we'd be running a current account deficit of $3.23 billion, which is where we were in 2012, a dangerous position, 18% of GDP.
Because shortly after that, the Jamaican economy crashed.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
And we couldn't get a loan from anybody. We had to go on a begging spree. But
those are the facts.
But this one is, Ralston, the danger of it is that you have a caller now coming on a radio station, on a prominent radio station, saying that we are exporting more than we are importing, and have the host agreeing with him.
That's total madness.
So we are is it a ploy to bamboozle the country? Because, I mean, and what does this do, though, to the reputation of the head of EPOC?
Well, I mean, he has damaged his own reputation and also damaged the credibility of EPOC. Yeah.
All right,
because I'm saying as a foundation member, I totally disagree with that because I am up to speed with internationally accepted norms.
All right, let's clean up some things. What is our export to date? How much have
That's what I'm telling you. For the first 7 months of this year, we exported 1.227 billion.
1.227 billion. And we import how much?
4.439 billion. So the trade deficit was 3.21 billion.
All right. And we're talking
if we go back to last year,
US dollars.
Yeah, man. Last year we imported 7.73 billion US dollars and we exported only 1.901 billion US dollars. So the trade deficit was 5.83 billion last year. And for the first 7 months of this year, it is 3.21 billion.
So it still can come out to what it come out to last year because...
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Because there's still 5 more months to be calculated.
Yeah, man. We are still on that trajectory. Yeah,
and that is clear as day. We are only exporting $1.27 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So the man who called, that is your export number.
It's clueless.
Your import number so far is 4.8 billion.
Yeah, man, and you can go on the Statin website and check it. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, which is the country's premier data collection agency.
Ralston, I don't want to leave that yet. Or what about the surplus that they're talking about?
That's my point I'm making to you. I'm saying to you the surplus includes the flows from remittances, which cannot be calculated as earnings because there no trade was done for them, no value was added for them. People send the remittances because they're sorry for you or because they love you.
Beautiful. All right. Now, with where we're going, and there's also this big argument, the lowest unemployment numbers ever. But there's also an argument that there are 700,000 people who should be in the work.
722,800. You can check the Statistical Institute of Jamaica. We give precise numbers.
They should be in the working class, but they're not working.
Yeah, man.
But we have 4% unemployment. Now that 700,000 is close to 1/3 of the population. What's the working population?
1.315 million. The labor force is 1.
Hold on. The working population in Jamaica is 1.3?
1.315.
But if it's 1.315, that 720 is more than 50%.
Yeah, man.
Hold on there, Ralston, man. They know that work. You're bragging about no, man, something to balance this. So balance that for me.
No, man, it's balanced. The total labor force is 1.377 million. That we tell about July of this year. 62,000 persons are unemployed. And there are some 722,800 persons outside of the labor force. Statistical Institute.
And when we talk about outside of the labor force, what does that mean? Who are these people?
It means that they are not in the formal labor force. So them man they either say them nah look no work because them not like the low salaries that they are being paid, or them not like the oppressive conditions like the contract working system. So them they're on the corner also by themselves.
What is the age group of that 728,000?
Well, them rates different. So you have some people who are retired. So maybe some portion of them are retired. So about 450, 500,000 should be in the labor force. Them are people who should be working between. Yeah.
Okay, so that brings it down now to a little under the 50%.
Yeah,
well,
man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You see, we have to clean up them things and make people can understand, because there's a lot of bamboozling going around. And
we know
people
that.
now
Yeah.
understand the real figures. No, SSL Ralston. What is happening with SSL?
Well, boy, you know, the country needs to know. So we need to hear a statement from the Minister of Finance, because the Minister gave the country the assurance when the thing happened in that famous no stone unturned speech that no stone will be unturned to deal with the problem of SSL, because it would be damaging to the country's reputation, the financial sector and the country's reputation. Now, since then, we haven't heard a lot except for the lady, Miss Panton, who has been remanded. And then we subsequently heard that more people were involved, 30 million US or 5 billion was involved. And then all of a sudden, we hear that people went to the place and took away laptops. Now, this is a very, very confidence-eroding development, which will not inspire confidence in the country's financial system and in the minister's credibility, because we haven't heard from him since that, and that took place on Wednesday. When we spoke with Mr. Selvine, who is in charge of the investigation, FIB, he says it is not his responsibility to secure the building, it's the responsibility of the FSC, that's Mr. Burrell and Mr. Biles, and the temporary manager, Mr. Tomlinson, to secure the building. The building.
Should we be concerned about those laptops?
We're waiting to hear from the minister.
Should we be concerned about those laptops?
Of course, he must be concerned. If you are conducting an investigation, then all of a sudden you hear that more people are involved and more money is involved, and then on the same night, computers are missing. Then it must be a matter of concern, and the international people must be looking at us as being very corrupt and stupid.
But shouldn't we have all the information that is on those laptops on a mainframe somewhere?
Certainly.
So then that's why I'm wondering if we should...
But clearly those who went to took the laptops, they have had information that we don't have all of that information on our mainframe. Why do you believe that they would go and take the laptops if they believe that they would be useless? This thing doesn't look good. You know, it's damaging to the country's reputation.
Where is the FBI in all of this?
Well, that's why we need to hear from the minister.
Because remember, the minister said in Parliament that he invite the FBI, and the policeman did say after that they don't need the FBI. Well, if and when they need the FBI, they will call them in.
So we need to get a comprehensive statement from the minister on developments at SSL. And the fact that we haven't heard from him in almost 3-4 days is not good for his credibility or the credibility of the country's financial system.
People are still questioning the fact that a year before this crash, the Prime Minister took out his money from SSL. And where in the investigation will that lie? Because insider trading is illegal, isn't it? So if you get information that the thing going crash, that is also illegal.
Yep.
Where you see this SSL, where you see this going? Some people are saying that it will end here.
Most people believe it is going nowhere. Most people believe that the investigations have been compromised and that nothing will come of it. And as I said, the minister's deafening silence raises those questions even more.
Mr. Bailey saying the NIR is approximately 4.4 billion US. What does that mean?
Yeah, the NIR is 4.6 billion US dollars.
What does that mean?
So it gives us the capacity to intervene in the foreign exchange markets, and we have been seeing frequent intervention in the foreign exchange markets. So it then raises the question to you is, if we are lending the rest of the world money, why is it that we have to be intervening in the foreign exchange market so much in order to protect the value of the dollar? Additionally, if we are lending money to the rest of the world, why is it that we borrowed 46 billion at 9.625% per annum a month ago?
Yeah. And that was to pay back debt that we borrowed at cheaper interest rate.
Right, so that tells you so the argument about lending to the rest of the world doesn't make any sense.
We're still seeing our bad roads, Ralston, and we are paying down the debt by how much more than we had need to.
Well, the primary surplus again, as at the end of September, was 53 billion, where it was only 46 billion was needed. Precise numbers again. You can't check the Minister of Finance. We don't give guess numbers.
We paid 7 billion more than we needed to.
Yeah, man.
And we still see the roads are terrible. People don't have running water in their houses.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what impact the reduction of fares on JUTC will have on the economy.
Well, it will push the JUTC's losses to $16 billion, and that $16 billion would be able to fix up some of the roads, fix some of the hospitals, because I heard this morning that Alan Skillcole went to the University Hospital and couldn't get a bed. Yeah, because there are not enough beds. Now,
at the University Hospital?
Yeah. After the minister just fired the board. So what we're saying, in every country, public transportation is subsidized. So if you percently subsidize the UTC to the tune of $5 billion, we would have another $11 billion to do other things, fix the roads, expand the hospitals, put more bed in the hospitals, build more schools, improve the education system.
The JUTC had not gotten an increase over 10 years. But instead, with all the losses and all the subsidy, why you think what is the thinking that the government have behind this?
Cheap politics. It makes no economic sense. That's just cheap politics.
Are they getting fiscally irresponsible, you think?
Well, yeah, that's a fiscally irresponsible move. The cost of Cornwall Regional starts at $2 billion and end up at 20, and we're not going to get it completed until 2026. No, it's also fiscally irresponsible.
But Cornwall Regional, Ralston, you are saying $20 billion?
Well, we could now...
How much would it cost to build a brand new hospital?
Well, we could build 3 hospitals with that. The Cornwall Regional is now $15 billion, and the minister said it is not going to finish until 2026. So that's more money we're talking about. It started at $2 billion 5 years ago.
Are we not firing the minister?
Well, it tells you.
What kind of business you run? You have an employee that that costs you. All right, him say they're going to do $2 billion, and you say, all right, let's do it at 2.2, 2.3, overrun with the bad.
It's now 8 times the 2, and it's going to cost 10 times the 2.
And you don't fire him yet?
Well, remember, he works for the same firm, or the people can fire him.
No, but you can't. No, the Prime Minister can fire him as minister. Can't fire him as MP.
As I said before, he works for the same firm. So it's only the people can fire the firm.
So to get him fired, you have to fire the entire firm. I have been saying, Ralston, that Jamaica needs a forensic audit because, like me, a lot of other people believe that some of that 20 billion on Cornwall Regional gone to other places. Nothing can go so in life.
Yeah, man, people believe that. People strongly believe that.
But even if it not go any other place, Ralston, working for a Fortune 5 company.
Yeah, man, I get run a long time, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, man, I get run a long time, man.
So in the rating of companies, where would you rate Jamaica operating as a company? With our budget and everything. Wouldn't be
well, like... the analyst would tell you that if you held that stock, you should sell it.
A country, Ralston, I am of the opinion that it should be run just like a Fortune 5 business. Am I crazy?
No, in some sense, and that is what people like Nigel Clark promise. Because he has a background in business.
But he never run one for himself. Because there's a difference in Ralston. I see a difference.
I know.
Somebody who work for people and somebody who run a business for himself. Because when the business lose money, you feel it in your pocket, not come to you.
Yeah, man.
But they have always been working for people where if it even lose money, their salary is secure.
Yeah, but you still have good politicians and treasury secretaries who never run business but run good economies. People like Larry Summers and people like that.
But them money not run no good economy.
No. Well, they're not at that level.
But
I'm just telling you, so you can't just throw the baby out the bathwater because you have treasury secretaries who never run businesses.
I understand.
Yeah.
But them come in and them do a good job, because even if you run your own business to the first, you'd have to be fresh and
Yeah, man.
But these people are not doing a good job. But how is it that people are saying that, yes, the economy is good, everything is nice, we are exporting more than we are importing?
Remember, if your analysis is not driven by data, then you're not saying nothing. Personal opinions, which is based on emotions and who you like and which party you like, is different from an analysis that is based on the data. So if you look at the data will tell you what is not being done and what should be done. And the data is available at Stats, and it's available at BOJ, it's available at PIOJ. Yeah.
So they're maintaining the dollar at 56 and change. How many interventions we had in the last month?
Whole lot.
To keep it steady.
Almost every week.
Where are you seeing the production coming from, Ralston, to change this? Because many governments have been borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, and that can't solve the problem. Production is what we are going to need. Where you see it?
Yeah, man, so what we need for them. Right? So if I was Mr. Duncan issuing a statement, I'd say to the country that we have been able to run a current surplus based on the flows of remittances, and these things are not earnings. So we are still producing less than we are consuming. So I'd suggest that the government takes steps to improve the production in agriculture so that we can reduce the food import bill, which was running at 1.1 billion for the first 7 months. I'd also suggest that we look at renewable energy so we can cut the energy bill. And also suggest that we look at spending more on research and development so that we can reduce the amount of intermediate goods and raw materials that we are importing. I'd suggest that we more closely integrate the tourism sector with the manufacturing sector, with the agricultural sector, with the cultural sector, so that we can increase the retention from tourism, because we're only getting 41 cents now. Places like Dammert get 50 and 60 cents from their tourism product. That is what he should be saying if he was acting responsibly.
Ralston, you said that where we are now is where we were 2012.
In terms of, if we strip out the remittances, that's where we would be in terms of the current account deficit.
So, where was the remittance back in 2012? We had this kind of remittance, or it was...
No, man. No, remittances were just like $1 billion and change at that time.
And where's remittance
That's about
now?
$3.5 billion in remittances now.
How so much money the people must send back to Jamaica, Ralston?
Yeah, man. Bank of Jamaica data again. So we can tell the people in the data, the people who are listening. The Bank of Jamaica tells us that in September, the amount of money that we got from remittances was 180% of our export earnings. Follow me? 180% of our export earnings, 230.7% of the net earnings from tourism. Remittances are our largest source of foreign exchange. 1,000% more than we got from foreign direct investments, and 44% of the import bill. You hear that?
So it's the people abroad who is keeping Jamaica afloat.
Yeah, man. Correct.
We want to say thanks to all the people in the diaspora.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But we can't live off of that, as you said.
No, we cannot continue to depend on that.
We have to
so
produce.
If you bring it down to our individual situation, let's explain it some more. So you're not Jamaican. You are, and we see it every day. You now work, or if you work, the money we work can't pay your bills. And every day you go up at Western Union and you go up on the phone and you call the virgin and foreign and say, yo, dog, send something to me now. You can't now go home and tell your wife you have make more money because the dog has sent some money for you. Because one day the dog will say, yo, brother.
Me not have it today. Or me buy a house, so things change.
You get it. Simple.
Yeah.
Simple as that. ABC. Nothing not rocket science.
They cut they increase the threshold on custom duty on small import items to 100 US. What impact that have?
Yeah, that not have no material impact. That's a PR exercise again. That really not have no material impact on nothing. The
government giving up some money. How much they giving up?
1.5 billion annually. Yeah, so that really not have no material effect on nothing.
And that's 1.5 what? US or Jamaican? Jamaican. 1.5 Jamaican. So it's less than.
But at the same time, so although that now have no material effect, at the same time, because of the shortage of foreign exchange. For every dollar of foreign exchange you give up, you have to determine how you have to earn it back. Because we're always short of foreign exchange.
Yeah, true.
So we need to know how you ever get back the money. So that is why we even said to the opposition, so you are saying them should carry to $1.50. What are some of the initiatives that you are going to pursue in order to ensure that we earn back their money?
Yeah.
And them say, boy, we're going to work on logistics. We're going to make sure we get more from tourism. So at least them say them have a plan. You follow me?
Yeah. Well, what is the plan for this government? You haven't gotten a chance to ask.
I don't know. I haven't got no plan. I haven't got no plan. Same old, same old.
Do you think that we should be seeing with all that they are clamoring about more investment in education, more investment in the creative industry?
That is how you're going to transform the economy. If you're not doing that, it's going to be the same old, low wages. Yeah? That's all you got. Yeah. Because remember, your wages are connected to your productivity. Now, your productivity is connected to education and training and investments in research and development and science and technology.
Mm-hmm.
So if you not do that, you'll always continue to be a low-wage economy. So it don't make no sense. You work, but you can't meet your daily living. Just like the country, so you have to depend on the remittances because although you work, you still buy more from foreign for consume than you sell to foreign. So you have to depend on your brethren and your mother and your brother and your sister foreign to send money come here for pay the bill. You can't continue to live like that. And then you big up that. Yeah? Or if you big up something like that.
We're talking to Ralston, Hyman, economist and talk show host on Power 106. We're talking about the Jamaican economy, where we are going, and how we are petering out. Crime and violence, Ralston, is something that is costing Jamaica a lot to deal with our security issues.
Yeah, man, 150 billion. 5% of GDP. Crime, corruption, 150 billion. GDP is projected at $3 trillion. So 5% is 150 billion. I get a real number. That come from Nigel Clark himself, the budget numbers. Yeah. So crime is having a heavy cost on the economy. You can't control crime with state of emergency. You have to invest more in education and training. You have to invest more in infrastructure. You have to invest more in basic social services if you are dealing with crime. Simple.
So we're playing a fool of ourselves then?
Yeah, man, of course. Spinning around every day, state of emergency. That's not help the situation. In fact, that slow down the economy and make the economy more inefficient. So if you're the people in Mobile, say, Jesus Christ, emergency, we can't get to sell nothing to Christmas.
Because you can't stay out late at night.
Yeah, so more
less
power
parties are going.
Yeah.
And more at the same time, while you have a state of emergency, a man come from court in the town of Montego Bay, broad daylight, and get liquid within the state of emergency. But they tell us that the state of emergency is reaping benefits.
Not this. I have to change the strategy. We have to get to the fundamental cause. So the strategy has to change from paying down the debt before time to focusing on production and export.
The government could be spending a lot more money on infrastructure, fixing our roads and all of that, because they have the money.
Yeah, man, and that would create more employment and that would help the crime, because you look at the areas where the crime committing. The police then can't go in there because of the road and all of them things and the broke down housing and all of those things. So the people are trapped in these communities and the police can't reach there on time because of the poor infrastructure and them timing. If we have fixed the road, then we could have sell more coffee. The coffee industry would be more efficient, but people have not have no road. You with me? Yeah? Yeah, if you have better infrastructure, the transportation system could have moved better. So people, the road, them not clog up and people take 10 hours to reach this and reach this. So all them things affect productivity. Yep.
What is the election game that they're playing, Ralston? It seems to me like the government is ready to give away everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And the good news and all everything. Yep.
Well, it's a journey.
Yep.
And we have to carry on.
Yeah, and the responsible people have to give the people the correct information so that them can make a proper assessment as to what is going on. So a lot of people have a false sense of security and tell us, boy, things great and we are earning enough money. It's not true. It's the people from foreign, your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, who are sending back the money so that we can live the standard of living that we are living. We are not paying for those things. But with productive efforts.
Some would say that we train our nurses and they want them abroad. We train our teachers, they want them abroad. It is the fact that we are exporting that kind of service, so we are seeing the income. What do you say about that?
No. That's recognizable internationally. when you have that kind of situation, that is why they are classified as transfers, because no economic value is passed for the money that we get from them. They send us money because they love us and because they are sorry for us because of the hardships that we are enduring in Jamaica. So IMF classification and international classification, they're classified as transfers, not as earnings.
Will you be trying to get Mr. Duncan on your program? I wait for that interview in Ralston. Try him, man.
Well, we'll try again.
Call him, man.
We'll try again. We'll certainly try again. Yeah?
Yeah, man. I make we know when it's going to happen so we can advertise it here as well, because I know that a lot of people want to hear that. Because, rubbish is just rubbish.
Yeah, man.
Blessings, my brother. Thanks. Anything
right,
you want
brother.
to add finally?
Sorry?
Anything you want to add before you go? Anything you wanted to talk about that we never touch on?
Well, all we're saying is that the international environment is changing. Next year is going to be a year where the international economy is going to slow down as the high interest rate regime bites higher for longer. So Jamaica has to become more productive. So deceiving ourselves and putting ourselves in a false sense of security is not going to help us. We must tell the people the truth that we need to become more efficient, more productive. We need to export more in order to maintain the current standard of living. We cannot continue to depend on members of the diaspora and then rig the books to say that the money that they send us represent earnings rather than transfers and lower our people in a false sense of security. We have to become more efficient. We have to become more productive.
What is our oil bill today, Ralston?
Well, last year it was 2.5 billion. For the first 7 months of this year, it was 1.2 billion. So we'll end up at $2 billion again this year. $2 billion and change.
And looking forward, the war in Ukraine is still on. There's a war in Palestine. What will that do to the oil market?
Well, so far, that has not had a negative impact on the oil market because the international economy is slowed down, particularly the Chinese economy. So what we're seeing is that oil prices have been actually falling for the last 7 weeks because
Where is it
people
now?
look for... Sorry?
Where is it now on average? How much a barrel on average now?
Well, we saw yesterday the American crude closing at $71 and change per barrel, and the British crude, Brent, closed at $74 per barrel.
The fact that Guyana is trucking oil like they must strike it every day now, will that have an impact on Jamaica? Well,
it depends on how we deal with the Guyanese. Right now, they have a current situation in Venezuela. So it depends on how Jamaica, which side Jamaica comes down on, and how Jamaica helps them to deal with that problem and see if we can negotiate a deal with them. Yep.
My brother, thanks.
But that's the best way to go right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ralston, Hyman, big up yourself.
All right, brother. Bless you.
One love, my brother.
Yeah, man. Bless you.
Man. So that was Ralston, Hyman, economist. And